tinha kીધું
જોઈએ નહીં તો ઓકે.
What do you want?
A little more closer, so I can pull the harpoon more front. Yeah, this is fine. And little, yeah.
Let me know when you're going to start.
Yes, yes, yes. Just in 2 minutes.
દ્વારકાધીશની બોલી રહ્યા છો હા
હા હા
હા જો ઉપર છે જોયા
હા ઉપર છે ને
Okay. Yes, I'm just ready to start.
ચાર્જ થઈ
તો પાણીનો પ્યાલો ને
હમણાં લાગે
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन जय Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakaacharya Varya Ashtottarshata Shri Srimad Abhaya Charnarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakaacharya Varya Ashtottarshata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaja Srila Prabhupada Ki ग्रंथराज श्री श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की श्री श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत क्लास की जय हो युग धर्म श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की समवेत भक्त वृंद की निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagarathunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanja Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhurya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna. At the very onset of present day's discourse, I would like to initially offer my most respectfully prostrated obeisances unto the lotus feet of their divine lordships, Shri Shri Radha and Shyam Sundar Dev, along with their eternal associates and companions, such as Shri Lalita Devi, Shri Vishakha Devi, Shri Ruprati Manjari, etc. And along with them, I would also like to submit my most respectfully prostrated homages unto the lotus feet of their divine lordships, Shri Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Shri Shri Nityananda Prabhu, along with their perpetual transcendental entourage like Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, and all the 6 Goswamis of Sri Dham Vrindavan. Finally, I would like to pay my obeisances and due respects unto the lotus feet of His Divine Grace Abhaya Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who has very nicely propagated and has dispersed the doctrine of Krishna consciousness throughout this world in this present modern era in a most unique and fantastic, unprecedented way. Conclusively, I would also like to pay my obeisances and due respects unto all the senior Vaishnava devotees of the Lord present herein, especially to His Grace Nirantara Prabhu, who is a very senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And thereafter, I would now like to commence our proposed context of discussion, the context of the glorification of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. So, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati glorifies Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu in his transcendental poetry known as Sri Caitanya Chandramritam, or the nectar of or the nectar of the moon of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a moon appearing from the ocean of the womb of Mother Shachi. And due to that, Srila Rupa Goswami also prays unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a similar way, demonstrating exactly the same idea in his invocation of Vedat Madhav Nataka when he says, Anarpita charim chirat karunayavatirnah kalau samarpayitu munnato jvalarasam svabhakti shriyam harihi purata sundara dyuti kadamba sandipitah sada hridaya kandare spuratu shachi nandanah. That may that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear in the darkened caves, in the course of the darkened caves of our heart. Our hearts, the hearts of the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and especially hearts of the conditioned living entities, are like darkened, deep caves. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is compared to a singha or a lion by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamritam, when Krishnadas Kaviraj says that Chaitanya Singhera Chaitanya Virya Chaitanya Hunkar. Chaitanya Virya Singha Griva Singhera Hunkar. That's the verse, which means that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is exactly like a lion, and by mere roar of lion, just as many thousands and hundreds of elephants who are formed together in a flock, they run away just by hearing the mere roar of an angry, powerful lion. In a similar way, by hearing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Krishna Nama Sankirtana being uttered from his mouth, and by hearing of his transcendental pastimes and chanting his glories, and thus establishing Sri Chaitanya Singha, or the lion-like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the hearts, in the darkened caves of our hearts, which have become darkened by the nescience of illusion. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he manifests as a lion, resides in the cave, he also manifests in the darkened caves and the course of our hearts in a similar way. And may that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always appear, always be manifest, always remain manifest in the darkened caves of our hearts. That is the purport here, that Spuratu Vahashachi Nandanaha. Anarpita charim chirat karuna yavatirnah kalau samarpayitu munnato jvalarasam svabhakti shriyam harihi purata sundara dyuti kadamba sandipitah sada hridaya kandare spuratu vahashachi nandanaha. Always that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should make himself manifest in the darkened cave-like hearts of us, the conditioned souls, and especially the devotees of Sri Gaurasundara Mahaprabhu. That Mahaprabhu who has come here to distribute that benediction which has never been given before, and which is of the form of his own devotional service, Swabhakti Shriyam. That devotional service which he has come to distribute is of the same nature of his own devotion. What do we mean by his own devotion? Because he is Krishna, he is non-different from Krishna, And because he has come to give especially Krishna Bhakti, and Krishna Bhakti of a special type, not Vaidhi sadhan, not Vaidhi Bhakti, but the Bhakti of the Raga Marga type. And even within the Bhakti of the Raganuga or the Raga Marga type, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give a very specific type of Bhakti which is known as Kamanuga, and not the Sambandhanuga. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Chari Bhav Bhakti diya, Uddharimu Sansare, although in Chaitanya Charitamrita Mahaprabhu says that that Krishna is thinking in Golok Vrindavan that when I will descend on this mundane platform, I will distribute the fourfold mellows, the fourfold devotional mellows of Brajavasis, conditioned living entities. So what are these fourfold mellows? The Dasyaras, Sakhyaras, Vatsalyaras and Shringararas. These fourfold mellows also exist in the Vidhi Marg and they also exist in the Raga Marg. But the fourfold mellows of Raga Marg, which are contained within the hearts of the eternal associates of Shri Krishna in Vrajalila, those fourfold mellows of the Ragatmika and Raganuga type, which are contained within the hearts of the Shri Krishna's eternal associates of Vrajalila, those fourfold mellows Krishna has come here to distribute free of charge without thinking of any eligibility or ineligibility. Patra patra vichar nahi, nahi sthana sthan. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although he has come here to distribute the four types of relationships existing on the Raga Marga level in the eternal pastimes of Vrindavan, but even within the four types of relationship, he has especially descended to distribute the Unnat Ujjvala Ras. So, the other three types of relationships, that means the Sakhyaras, the Vatsalyaras and the Dasyaras, the mood of fraternity, the mood of paternal affection and the mood of a servant. These three types of moods or mellows existing within the pastimes of Vrindavan are known as Raga Nuga. Actually they are known as Ragatmika. The devotional service that is contained within the heart of the eternal associates of Shri Krishna in Vrindavan is known as Ragatmika Bhakti. And the devotional service which follows this Ragatmika Bhakti as an ideal is known as Raga Nuga Bhakti. Because it follows, because it does Anugaman. Anugaman means the act or the task of following. Because it does the task of following, because it does Anugaman, because it follows the Ragatmika Bhakti, it is known as Raganuga Bhakti. And who are the shelter for Raganuga Bhakti? Always, devotee is always the shelter of Bhakti and Krishna is the Vishaya of that Bhakti. Devotee is the shelter of Bhakti Rasa and Krishna is the Vishaya of Bhakti Rasa. That is why Srila Rupa Goswami Pad, he also describes the same Siddhanta in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu when he describes especially and he reflects upon the Vibhava category of Rasa Shastra. Then he makes his conclusion clear that Krishnascha Krishna Bhaktascha Budhairalam Manamataha Ratyader Vishayatvena Tathadharatayapi cha Krishnascha Krishna Bhaktascha Budhaihai Alam Manamataha Ratyader Vishayatvena Tatha Adharatayapi cha. That both the Krishna and the devotees of Shri Krishna, the Krishna Bhakta, both are considered to be Alamban type of Vibhav. Vibhav has also been divided into two categories, Uddipan Vibhav and the Alamban Vibhav. So Uddipan Vibhav is the stimulus and Alamban Vibhav are the objects and the shelter of the love existing. So both Shri Krishna and the devotees of Shri Krishna and the associates of Shri Krishna are to be considered Alambana Vibhav. But Shri Krishna is the Vishaya. He is the object of the Rati, of the Bhakti Rasa existing within the heart of his devotee or of his associate. Whereas the associate or the devotee who is trying to satisfy and please Shri Krishna with the Bhakti Rasa contained within his heart, with the Rati contained within his heart, that devotee is known as Ashraya Vigraha or the shelter of the love. So, Ratyader Vishayatvena Tatha Adharatayapicha. Bhakta is the Adhar. He is the shelter and Shri Krishna is the Vishaya or the object of Rati. So this is how in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami has made the concept clear. So, in Vrindavan, Shri Krishna is the sole single objective, only existing objective of all the 5 types of devotional mellows, like Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, etc. But among the 5, the 4 devotional mellows are predominantly existing within Golok Vrindavan. Shanta is existing, but it has no, it doesn't have much value. It is not of utmost importance there. That is why generally in Vrindavan, when we start speaking about Vraj Leela, we say generally, and in the Shastras also it is written, that in Vrindavan mainly, predominantly only the 4 mellows are existing in a prominent way, starting from Dasya up to Shringar or Conjugal. But these 4 mellows that Caitanya Mahaprabhu has come here to distribute, which are of Ragatmika type, Raganuga type. Now yes, we were explaining the difference between Ragatmika and Raganuga. So, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu makes it very clear that Ragatmika Bhakti, what is Ragatmika Bhakti? He says that Virajantim Abhivyaktam Vrajavasi Janadishu Ragatmikam Anusrita Yasa Raganugocyate Ishte Swarasiki Ragaha Paramavishtata bhavet tanmaya bhaved bhaktihi satra ragatmikodita. So, Rupa Goswami makes clear the definition of Ragatmika Bhakti, and unless we understand the definition of Ragatmika Bhakti, we will not be able to understand the definition of Raganuga Bhakti. So Rupa Goswami is first of all making the definition of Ragatmika Bhakti clear. But even before understanding the Ragatmika Bhakti, we have to understand the Vaidhi Bhakti. Because unless we understand the difference existing between Ragatmika and Vaidhi, we will not be able to understand Raganuga and Ragatmika. So Rupa Goswami has first defined the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti by saying, Shastroktaya Prabalaya Tattan Maryadayanvita Vaidhi Bhaktiriyam Kaischin Maryada Marga Uchyate Shastroktaya Prabalaya Tattan Maryadayanvita. This Vaidhi Bhakti is sometimes also known as, in some sampradayas and by some acharyas, this same Vaidhi Bhakti is sometimes also referred to as Maryada Marg. And this Raganuga Bhakti is in some sampradayas, by some acharyas of their respective sampradayas, is referred to as Pushti Marg. That is what Rupa Goswami mentions, because Srila Vallabhacharya or the Vallabh Bhatta, he was the contemporary of the 6 Goswamis, and for that reason Rupa Goswami was quite well aware of the terminologies, the alternative terminologies used by Sri Vallabhacharya in his Vishnu Swami Sampradaya. So according to Vallabhacharya, the Vaidhi Bhakti in their Sampradaya is known as Maryada Marg, and the Raganuga Bhakti in their Sampradaya is known as Pushti Marg. And Rupa Goswami makes it clear in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by saying that they are calling it Maryada and Pushti likewise. So here Rupa Goswami, while defining Vaidhi Bhakti, he says that this Vaidhi Bhakti by some people, Kaischit Janaihai, by some people it is known as, it is referred to as Maryada Marg also. And what is this Maryada Marg? What is this Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti? So he defines Shastroktaya Prabalaya Tattan Maryadayanvita. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti is that whom the Shastras talk about. And the entrance into Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti is the entrance into Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti takes place upon being inspired by the regulative injunctions of the scriptures. Upon being inspired by the regulative injunctions of the scriptures, especially the scriptures propounding bhakti or devotional service. So, the scriptures propounding devotional service or bhakti, by the study of those scriptures, when a person wants to enter into the path of sadhan bhakti, or when a person wants to start sadhan bhakti, upon being inspired by the instructions of the scriptures, And the example is given by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In order to illustrate this point, he quotes the verse from the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when Shukadeva Goswami has told Parikshit Maharaj, Tasmat sarvatmana rajan harihi sarvatra sarvada shrotavyah kirtitavyascha smartavyaschichata bhayam smartavyo bhagavan rinam. So therein it is said that Tasmat sarvatmana rajan, Shukadeva Goswami is instructing Maharaj Parikshit. Therefore, Tasmat, okay. So Shukadeva Goswami is instructing Parikshit Maharaj, Tasmat, therefore, Sarvatmana, by all means of body, mind, speech and soul, Sarvatmana, one should surrender unto the personality of Godhead, and one should always hear about his transcendental name, form, qualities, pastimes, etc. One should always glorify his glories and his pastimes, shrotavyah kirtitavyascha smartavyah, and one should always remember and contemplate that personality of Godhead and his pastimes. So, by reading such statements of the scriptures, Rupa Goswami explains in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, by reading such statements of the scriptures wherein Lord or his devotees are regulating the method of the path of devotional service and are making the path of devotional service they are making the path of devotional service compulsory. So by reading such statements of Bhakti Shastras wherein the inspiration to enter into the devotional service is had or is derived, that sadhan bhakti which commences by the inspiration of those Bhakti Shastras and their regulations and their regulatory statements, that sadhan bhakti is known as Vaidhi sadhan bhakti. That means, in short, that sadhan bhakti which arises out of the study of those scriptures who are making regulatory statements that please engage in bhakti, please hear about, please think about, please contemplate and please glorify the pastimes of the Lord. By hearing such and many other statements, similar statements of the Shastras, if the sadhan bhakti arises within the devotee, then that sadhan bhakti is known as Vaidhi sadhan bhakti. But now, what is the definition of Ragatmika? And if we will understand Ragatmika, only then we will understand Raganuga. Because something which follows has to be understood afterwards, and that which it follows has to be understood first. So Ragatmika is what is being followed by Raganuga. So Ragatmika has to be understood first. So while explaining the Ragatmika devotion, Ragatmika bhakti or Ragatmika devotional service, the first thing is Ragatmika devotional service does not exist anywhere except Vrajlila. And so also the Raganuga devotional service also doesn't exist anywhere except for the Vrajlila. Not even in Dwarka, Mathura, Ayodhya, Vaikuntha or any other place. So what is Ragatmika bhakti? Rupa Goswami explains, Ishte swarasiki ragah paramavishtata bhavet tanmayiya bhaved bhaktihi satra ragatmikodita ishte swarasiki raga. In one's most desirable, cherished, loved object, that is ishta. Ishta means most desirable, cherished and loved object of affection. That is ishta vastu. हृदय के द्वारा ईप्सित, हृदय के द्वारा वांछित जो सर्व प्रियतम पदार्थ है वह इष्ट के नाम से जाना जाता है. The most desired, cherished and loved object of the heart, for whom our heart has exclusive affection. जिस वस्तु के लिए हमारे हृदय में एकांतिक स्नेह है और प्रेम है. And that object which appears dear most to us is known as ishta. So ishte swarasiki raga. That attachment, raga means attachment, favorable attachment, not like dvesha. Dvesha is unfavorable attachment. Raga means favorable attachment full of love and affection, for whom it is intended. Favorable attachment is full of affection and love for whom it is intended, for the objective. So raga means favorable attachment full of love and affection. And if this favorable attachment full of love and affection is intended for the most desired, cherished and loved object of the heart, that is Ishta Vastu, and if this loved attachment is spontaneous, Swarasiki, Ishte Swarasiki Raga. Swarasiki, this word Swarasiki has been by Srila Jiva Goswami in his Durgam Sangamini commentary on this shlok of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained the word Swarasiki meaning Swabhaviki. He says Swarasiki Swabhaviki Va. Here Swarasiki means Swabhaviki, one's own. That means spontaneous. So this attachment of the Vrajavasis, affection or love of the Vrajavasis for Shri Krishna is completely spontaneous and innate to their nature. It is not derived after performing sadhan bhakti, unlike in our case of the Nitya-baddha Jivas. In the case of Nitya-baddha Jivatmas, when the Nitya-baddha Jivatmas or the living entities who are conditioned and who are of the marginal potency category, after performing sadhan bhakti, conditioned living entities like us will get the boon of prema bhakti, will attain the goal of prema bhakti. And after that we attain Krishna prema or prema bhakti, then we will start loving Shri Krishna. But because these eternal associates of Shri Krishna in Vrindavan, they are not the products of marginal potency, and because they are not the products of marginal potency, they can never become captivated by Maya. You see, the very definition of marginal potency, as explained by Srila Jiva Goswami in his Bhagavad Sandarbha, and as explained by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Jaiva Dharma and Caitanya Shikshamrita, and as explained by all the other acharyas. So the definition of marginal potency or tatastha shakti is that marginal potency is susceptible to either be influenced by the external potency or be influenced by the internal potency. But internal potency is never susceptible to either become influenced by the marginal or the external. So because the eternal associates of Shri Krishna, Nitya Siddha Parshadas, they are the products of the internal potency of the Lord. They are not coming from the marginal potency. That is why they have never fallen into this material world. They have never become bound within the shackles of illusion and nescience, avidya and maya. And due to that reason, they are loving Shri Krishna from the time without beginning. They have not performed sadhan bhakti and then they have achieved prema for Krishna. No. Prema is existing within their hearts, within their personality, since the time without beginning. Since the time that they are existing, the prema for Shri Krishna in their heart is also existing from the same time. And another thing, Krishna prema, as we were explaining in our day before yesterday's evening session in the ISKCON Los Angeles temple, which was the first day of the Nectar of Devotion 3-day seminar. So as we were explaining that day, the Krishna prema is one faculty of Ahladini Shakti, or the internal potency of Shri Krishna. And because Krishna prema is vritti or faculty of the Ahladini Shakti of Shri Krishna, and because the eternal associates of Shri Krishna, Nitya Siddha Parshadas, they are also products of the internal potency. You see, the Nitya Siddha Parshadas, their existence is also made up of internal potency, and the existence of Krishna Prema, the constitution of Krishna Prema is also made up of internal potency. Both Krishna Prema and the eternal associates of Shri Krishna are made up of internal potency and Ganga Shakti of Shri Krishna. They have the same constitution, they have the same ingredient. So, what's the relationship now? The relationship is, because the eternal associates of Shri Krishna in Vrindavan Leela, the Nitya Siddha Parshadas, because they are internal potency themselves. When internal potency wants to become manifest in many different forms of variety, in variegatedness, then it turns into these different Parshadas of Shri Krishna of Nitya Siddha type. So because they are the internal potency of Shri Krishna themselves manifest in diversity. That is why each Nitya Siddha Parshada, each eternal associate of Shri Krishna coming from internal potency, is the embodiment of a specific type of Krishna Prem. He is embodiment. He is not endowed with Krishna Prem. He is the very personification, embodiment of Krishna Prem. That is why you will see that Srimati Radhika, in the conversation which has ensued between Rai Ramanand and Caitanya Mahaprabhu during the 8th chapter of Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamritam on the banks of Godavari in the district of Rajamundri in the state of Andhra Pradesh in South India 5 centuries back. So at that time, Rai Ramanand has told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Srimati Radhika's whole body is the very embodiment of Madanakhya Mahabhava. It is not that Madanakhya Mahabhava is connected with Srimati Radhika, or that Madanakhya Mahabhava has some separate existence from Srimati Radhika, and Srimati Radhika only has Madanakhya Mahabhava within her heart, and that she is endowed with Madanakhya Mahabhava. She is not endowed with Madanakhya Mahabhava. If that would be the case, then her existence and the existence of Madanakhya Mahabhava would be considered different. Rather, Madanakhya Mahabhava is mood of heart and mind. When this mood of heart and mind assumes a particular shape, form, color, complexion, density, weight and volume, then it turns into Srimati Radhika. Madanakhya Mahabhava ही मूर्त रूप में जब परिणत होता है तो श्रीमती राधिका के रूप में परिणत हो जाता है, मूर्त विग्रह के रूप में, in personal form. When Madanakhya Mahabhava transforms itself into personal form, it turns into Srimati Radhika. In the same way, all the eternal associates of Shri Krishna are embodiments, are personifications of different specific type of love and affection for Shri Krishna. They are not endowed with Krishna Prem. They are Krishna Prem themselves. They are the embodiments and personifications of different forms of Krishna Prem, each eternal associate. So, Subal Sakha, Shridam, Madhumangal, Stoka Krishna, Varuthat, Arjun of Vrindavan, not Arjun of Dwarka. These are all cowherd boyfriends of Shri Krishna in the Sakhyaras pastimes of Vrindavan. And each cowherd boyfriend of Krishna is personifying, is embodying or is personifying a specific type of Sakhya Prem for Shri Krishna. He is the personification, he is the embodiment of a specific type of Krishna, of Sakhya Prem, of Sakhya Ras intended for Shri Krishna. In the same way, in the likewise fashion, if you talk about Vatsalya Ras, or if you talk about Dasya Ras, Raktak, Patrak, Chitrak, etc., all these different types of servants who are serving Shri Krishna in Vrindavan Leela, they are personifying a specific form of Dasyarati for Shri Krishna. Then, in Vatsalya Ras, Nand, Yashoda, Sunand, Upanand, Vrishabhanu, Kirtida Sundari, Paurnamasi, all these devotees of Shri Krishna in Vatsalya Bhav, they are personifying a specific type of Vatsalya Bhav. They are embodying, they are personifying a specific type of Vatsalya Bhav, Vatsalya Rati for Shri Krishna. Then, if we talk about conjugal, Chandravali, Srimati Radhika, Pali, Shyama, Lalita, Vishakha, Ruparati Manjari, all these different gopis or cowherd damsels of Vrindavan in the Shringar Leela of Vrindavan, they are personifying a specific type of Rati for Shri Krishna. They are personifying a specific type of Rati for Shri Krishna. Now, because they are the personal manifestations, these eternal associates of Shri Krishna, the Nitya Siddha Parshadas, they are the personal manifestations of the different forms of Krishna Prema existing in the spiritual world. That is why Krishna Prem for them is Swabhavik or Swarasiki. It is spontaneous for them. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives a very nice example to illustrate this point in his Caitanya Shikshamritam. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that just as the only natural object of eyes is form, नेत्रों का एकमात्र विषय क्या है? नेत्रों का एकमात्र स्वाभाविक विषय क्या है? रूप. What is the only natural, automatic and spontaneous object of eyes? Form. That means that eyes will always automatically look for the form, or it will catch the form. It will catch the form. But it will not catch any other object except for the form. Eyes will not catch sound, touch, smell and taste. They will only catch form, because form is the determined, prefixed object of the eyes. Eyes cannot catch anything except for its object, which is form, and it always catches its object form in a spontaneous way. If you open the eyes, you don't have to endeavor to catch a form. You don't have to change the gear, so to say. You don't have to endeavor to catch the form. It is spontaneous. And if your ears are in operation, if you are not deaf, if your ears are in operation, then your ears do not have to consciously endeavor to catch the sound. You don't have to change the gear or to consciously endeavor to catch the sound. Because sound is the natural, automatic and spontaneous object to be caught by the ears. And the ears will not catch any other object like form, touch, smell and taste except for the sound. In the same way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, the Ragatmika associates of Shri Krishna. In the same way, the Ragatmika associates of Shri Krishna, their natural love of the heart will only run towards Shri Krishna and will not catch any other object for love. That's the difference. That is why they are known as Ragatmik. That is why Rupa Goswami says Ragatmik. Atmik means whose Atma is Raga itself, whose inner self, whose very identity, whose constitutional position is nothing but Raga or Prema for Shri Krishna. That is why they are known as Ragatmika Parikaras. But the living entities, even if you are endowed with Krishna Prem after the performance of sadhan bhakti, even then they cannot come to the level of Ragatmika, because they themselves cannot become Rag. Because they are marginal potency. Marginal potency can never become Krishna Prem. Because Krishna Prem, ontologically speaking, is internal potency. Marginal potency can never change itself into internal potency. It will always stay endowed with Krishna Prem. It will always stay influenced by internal potency, but it cannot change its own ontological constitutional position of marginal. Never. Just like fire permeates the iron rod, and iron rod becomes almost non-different from the fire. It also becomes red, hot, etc. And the iron rod can also burn any object which comes into its contact, just like the fire does. So all the functions and attributes of fire are acquired by the iron rod which comes into the contact of fire. But still, is the original constitutional position of the iron rod changed? No. It is still an iron rod. Why? Because as soon as the fire is again disconnected from the iron rod, is again taken away from the iron rod again turns into its original status, or it manifests its original status. That means that before coming into connection with fire, it was in its original status, and after again becoming disconnected from fire, it is also in its original status. That means in between, when it was in the connection with fire, it was also having the original position, original constitutional position it was still retaining at that time when it was in connection with fire. Because if something is in the beginning and if something is in the end, then it should also be in the middle. That's the Siddhanta of Nyaya Shastra. That is the Siddhanta of Nyaya Shastra. That is the conclusion of the Nyaya Darshan of Gautam Muni, that if something is existing within the object in the beginning, and if that same thing is existing within a particular object in the end, that thing should also exist in the object in the middle, in between. That is why even when the iron rod is in connection with fire, is completely pervaded and permeated by fire, even at that time it is iron rod. It is ontological position has not been changed even at that time. Otherwise it cannot again regain or manifest its original position once it is disconnected from fire. So in the same way, Ahladini Shakti, Jiva Goswami uses the same example in his Durgam Sangamani Tika.
he says that Ahladini Shakti of Shri Krishna fully surcharges the whole existence of a devotee. Ahladini Shakti of Shri Krishna fully surcharges and fully becomes permeated and pervaded into the existence of a devotee. And so, just like an iron rod which becomes permeated by fire, exactly acts like a fire, so the gross body, the subtle body and the soul, all of these three, Jivatma, Sukshma Sharir and Sthul Sharir, all of these three, when they become permeated by Ahladini Shakti, internal potency, then they are fully surcharged with Krishna Prem, but that doesn't prove that they have ontologically turned into, the living entities have ontologically turned into internal potency themselves. They still retain their marginal potential category. That is what makes you different from the Ragatmik. You will never become Ragatmik because they are from a different division and you are ontologically speaking from a different division. So your marginal identity will never become destroyed. And that is why you can never become Krishna Prem, you can only have Krishna Prem. They are Krishna Prem themselves. Varieties of Krishna Prem appearing in different forms. Now, that devotional service which follows the mood of Ragatmika associates of Shri Krishna, that devotional service which follows the mood of the Ragatmika associates of Shri Krishna is known as Raganuga. That is why Rupa Goswami says, Ishte Swarasiki Ragah Paramavishtata Bhavet. Now let us first complete the definition of Ragatmika Bhakti. Ishte Swarasiki Ragah Paramavishtata Bhavet. So this kind of spontaneous attraction for Shri Krishna and spontaneous love for Shri Krishna that the Ragatmika associates of Vrindavan are having, it is full of Trishna. Raga is actually defined as Trishna here. When Jiva Goswami comments upon this verse in the Gumsamani, he says Raga means Trishna here. Trishna means longing and hankering. Longing and hankering. That is Trishna. Thirst. So, just like the eyes, now Bhaktivinoda Thakur again explains in Chaitanya Shikshamritam, just like the eyes are always thirsty and longing and they are always hankering and they are very eager to have a very beautiful vision of a beautiful form, of an attractive form. Or just like the ears are very much hankering after hearing something melodious, full of sweet melodies and musical notes. And just like the tongue is always eager, naturally the tongue is always eager in tasting the palatable dishes. And just like the skin is always eager in embracing or in touching something that is very smooth, and likewise. So in the same way, the Ragatmika associates of Shri Krishna are very eager to satisfy and love Shri Krishna, even though they might be currently engaged, even though they might be presently engaged in serving Shri Krishna and in satisfying him, and even though Shri Krishna becomes fully satisfied by their service and they can see that Shri Krishna has become fully satisfied by my service, but the more they satisfy Shri Krishna, the more their eagerness, their longing and their thirst for making Krishna happy and satisfied grows more and more. The more Krishna becomes satisfied, the more the desire to satisfy Krishna more, the longing and the eagerness and the hunger and thirst to make Krishna satisfied more grows more and more in their hearts. That is why the Trishna just grows. And that Trishna, that hankering for always making Krishna satisfied with love and affection is known as Raga here. Ishte Swarasiki Raga Paramavishtata Bhavet. And due to that absorption, that absorption in always thinking in how to make Shri Krishna satisfied and more happy, the absorption in this matter is known as Parama Avishtata, Param Avesh. And this Param Avishtata Mai Swarasiki Bhakti is known as Ragatmika. Ishte Swarasiki Ragah Paramavishtata Bhavet tanmayi ya bhaved bhakti sa atra ragatmiko dita. Here, that type of devotion, atra here, that type of devotion will be known as ragatmika. Satra raga mikodita. And then he explains the definition of raganuga. Virajantim abhivyaktam vrajavasi janadishu ragatmikam anusrita yasa raga nugochyate. Virajantim abhivyaktam vrajavasi janadishu. He says that ragatmika bhakti is that particular type of bhakti which is always manifest and which is always situated in the hearts of the eternal associates of Shri Krishna in Vrindavan. Shri Krishna के नित्य लीला के जो नित्य सिद्ध ब्रजवासी परिकर हैं, उनके हृदयों में, उनके अंतःकरण में, उनके चित्त में स्थित जो भक्ति है, जो विराजमान जो भक्ति है, विराजंतीम अभिव्यक्तम व्रजवासी जनादिशु, जो नित्य सिद्ध श्रेणी के व्रजवासी परिकर हैं, उनके हृदय में विराजमाना, उनके हृदय में विद्यमान जो भक्ति है वो तो रागात्मिका. विराजंतीम अभिव्यक्तम व्रजवासी जनादिशु रागात्मिकाम अनुसृता. और उस रागात्मिका भक्ति का अनुसरण करने वाली, उसके पीछे पीछे उसका अनुगमन करने वाली जो भक्ति है वो है रागानुगा. रागात्मिकाम अनुसृता यासा रागानुगोच्यते. सो ये है रागानुगा भक्ति का उदाहरण. दिस इज रागानुगा. दैट विच फॉलोज रागात्मिका इज रागानुगा. Now we were describing that Caitanya Mahaprabhu has come here to give a very specific type of devotional service. Although he has not come here to give Vaidhi Bhakti at all. He doesn't want to give that. Why? Because in Chaitanya Charitamritam, in the 4th chapter of Adi Leela, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami himself writes that Krishna was once thinking, being situated in Golok Vrindavan, Krishna was thinking, after that Krishna completed his manifest pastimes in threefold places of Dwarka, Mathura and Vrindavan 5250 years ago, when Shri Krishna completed his manifest pastimes, his Pragat Leela on this Dharadham, on this mundane platform. And that when Shri Krishna again entered into his Golok Vrindavan Dham, when he again entered into Golok Vrindavan, he starts thinking in his mind. And Krishnadas reveals the mind of Shri Krishna, what Shri Krishna is thinking in Golok Vrindavan. This is the 4th chapter of the Adi Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita. This information no other Sampradaya has. Only the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Yes. No other Sampradaya has this information, because it is not mentioned by Lord Vyasadeva in any Puran or in any other sage in any other part of the Shastra. It is only mentioned by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami for the first time in the history. So, this thinking of Shri Krishna in his mind, what does he think? Shri Krishna thinks, Vidhi bhaktiye aishwarya shithila prema nahi mora preet sakala jagat kare mor vidhi bhakti. The whole world, sakala jagat kare mor vidhi bhakti, and vidhi bhakti vraj bhav paite nahi shakti aishwarya shithilam prema nahi mor preet. These 3 statements of that chapter. Krishna is thinking in his mind while being present in Golok Vrindavan that the whole world is especially talking about this earth planet. That the whole world, and even in the whole universe, in the whole world, 99.9% of my devotees, they are performing my Vidhi Bhakti. Sakala jagate kare mor Vidhi Bhakti. In this whole world, in this whole material world, 99.9% of my devotees, that means the majority of my devotees, they are performing Vidhi Bhakti to me, to my lotus feet. They are performing Vidhi Bhakti. And then he says, Vidhi Bhakti Vrajbhav Paite Nahi Shakti. And by performing Vidhi Bhakti, one can never attain the Vrajbhav or the mood of Vrindavan. One can never gain entrance into the pastimes of Vrindavan and into the mood of Vrindavan, and one can never have the same type of love for Shri Krishna as the Vrajvasi associates are having. Then Shri Krishna says that I am not satisfied by Vidhi Bhakti. Vidhi Bhakti is not able to bind me or to satisfy me in full. It might be able to satisfy me in some amount, but Vidhi Bhakti is not able to satisfy me in full. So Krishna says, Aishwarya Shithila Prema Nahi Mora Preet. That love and affection for me, which has become slackened, which has become loose, which has become diluted and mild by the mixture, by the adulteration of the mood of opulence or reverence and majesty, Aishwarya Gyan. That bhakti, that prema, which has become adulterated, which has become diluted by the fear and hesitation which accompanies the mood of awe, reverence and opulence, Aishwarya Gyan, by that Sankocha Mayi Preeti, by that Gaurava Mayi Preeti. Oh, Shri Krishna is to be worshipped by us, he is to be revered by us. Oh, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oh, we are nothing in front of him, we are just tiny particles, we are just the most minute living entities, and he is the transcendental spiritual son. This mood of Vaikuntha that the associates of Vaikuntha Nath Narayana are having for him, and this mood of all the other domains in spiritual world where Vidhi Bhakti and Vidhi Bhav is prevailing, this mood makes the pure love for Shri Krishna slackened, diluted and mild and adulterated, because this mood creates hesitation and fear in the mind of the devotee. How? Devotee starts thinking that although my duty is to satisfy and to make Krishna happy and is to serve him, but I don't know that if I will serve Shri Krishna in the way I want to serve, Shri Krishna will become happy or he will become angry on me, or he will become morose by that service, or he will become happy by that service. I don't know. So he feels hesitation because he thinks that Krishna's position is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and I am just an infinitesimal living entity like a small particle of atom in front of him. So he, even while doing service, he hesitates and he fears so much. So there is a gap between him and Shri Krishna, very big gap of hesitation and fear. Sankoch Mayi Preeti. Sankoch means hesitation. And Gaurav means he is completely pervaded by the mood of awe, reverence and majesty. He is always having the mood for Shri Krishna of awe, reverence and majesty. He never thinks Shri Krishna to be on the same level as he is. So the Sakhya Ras is never existing in Vaikuntha, the Vatsalya Ras is never existing in Vaikuntha, and even the Shringar is not existing. Lakshmi Devi is not the example of Shringar. She is wherever in the Shastras the example of Lakshmi Devi has been given, she has been given to, her example has been given to exemplify the limb of Pada Sevanam and the limb of Dasya Bhakti, not to exemplify the limb of Shringar. Lakshmi Devi may be considered legally the wife of Shri Narayan, but she does not have the conjugal relationship with Narayan. Her relationship is Dasya. That is why you will always find Lakshmi Devi serving Shri Narayana's lotus feet and never embracing or kissing her. That's never found. That's Pada Sevanam Bhakti. So Dasya and Shant, these are the only two moods prevailing in Vaikuntha. Because starting from Sakhya, devotee starts thinking that Krishna and me are on the one level. Then Vatsalya, Shri Krishna is inferior to me because I am his guardian and I am his elder, spiritual master or mother, father, etc. And in Shringar also, that Shri Krishna is my beloved, he is my lover, and in love, both the lovers are reciprocating with each other as if they are on the same level. So the most important thing is Vaikuntha is 100% Aishwarya, Gyan, with 0% Madhurya Bhav. 100% Aishwarya Bhav with 0% Madhurya. Then Ayodhya is 75% Aishwarya Bhav with 25% Madhurya. Madhurya means the mood of sweetness. Madhurya here does not mean conjugal love. It means the mood of sweetness actually. Madhurya means the mood of sweetness. Madhur Rati is known as conjugal love. Madhur Rati or Madhur Ras means conjugal love, but Madhurya Bhav means the mood of sweetness as opposite to the mood of opulence, Aishwarya Bhav. And Madhurya Bhav has Sakhya, Dasya, Shringar and Vatsalya inside. Madhurya Bhav is of 4 types again. Aishwarya Bhav is only of 2 types, Sakhya, Dasya and Shant. Aishwarya can only exist in Dasya and Shant. But Madhurya can exist within all the 5, Shant, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Shringar. So Madhurya Bhav means the mood of sweetness, and Aishwarya Bhav means the mood of awe, reverence and majesty, which is full of hesitation and fear. So in Ayodhya, or the abode of Lord Ramachandra, 75% Aishwarya Bhav with 25% Madhurya Bhav. Then in Dwarka, 50% Madhurya Bhav and 50% Aishwarya Bhav. In Mathura, 75% Madhurya Bhav with 25% possibility of Aishwarya Bhav. And in Braj Leela, Vrindavan, 100% Madhurya Bhav, 0% Aishwarya Bhav with Aishwarya existing 100%.
Yes. Aishwarya
Is existing 100% in a full-fledged amount in Vrindavan pastimes, but the Aishwarya Bhav is not being created. Even despite Aishwarya's existence, the Aishwarya Bhav is not being created. Yes. So, the opulence is present in Vrindavan pastimes, but the mood of awe, reverence and majesty is not created by seeing the opulence. In whose minds? In both the minds of Krishna and his associates. The mood of opulence is not created. The mood of awe and reverence is not created. When Krishna manifests forest fire from his mouth at the time of that forest fire in the Braj Leela pastimes, when Krishna has, along with his cowherd friends, when he has gone to graze, make the cows graze in the forest,
and suddenly
fire starts enveloping or galloping the forest. At that time, Yogamaya makes Krishna unable to produce fire from his mouth. And Krishna thinks, let me swallow this fire, Yogamaya makes Krishna unable to swallow the fire within his mouth, and she makes Krishna think, and Krishna starts thinking that, I have the potency to swallow this fire within my mouth, and as soon as he opens, the fire enters into his mouth. And by seeing this, neither Sri Krishna becomes puffed up and starts thinking that I am Narayan or that I am Supreme Personality of Godhead, and neither the cowherd friends of Sri Krishna who are envisioning these pastimes, they produce or they manifest any even slightest tinge of the mood of awe and reverence for Krishna. So despite 100% opulence existing, Sri Krishna, a 5 days old child, is sucking the breast of a demon witch, Putana, and he's sucking out the life air of Putana. But despite this, none of the Brajvasis, they started thinking that Krishna is Bhagavan, or even a Devata or a supernatural power. And once upon a time, they started thinking that he's a supernatural power when he hold the Govardhan mountain on his left hand. But even then, the Brajvasis, the elder Brajvasis, they had a special meeting with Nand Maharaj in the later chapter of 10th canto. And they were describing to Nand Maharaj, we are thinking that he is a supernatural power. But even then, their feeling that he is our son never got destroyed. Due to this conception that he is a supernatural power or that he is incarnation of some powerful demigod, they never started paying respects to Krishna, or they never started hesitating in dealing or reciprocating with Krishna. It didn't have any effect. Even if the conception enters into their mind that he is Bhagavan or that he is a great Devata, it doesn't make their love and affection interrupt by hesitation, fear, awe and reverence. That is why 100% Aishwarya, but despite Aishwarya Bhav is 0%. And that is why our Acharyas, especially Rup Sanatan Jeev, and especially Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, they have emphasized for the very first time the concept of Madhurya on top of the concept of Aishwarya. Because if Madhurya and Aishwarya are present side by side, Madhurya will subdue Aishwarya. It will naturally subdue Aishwarya. In Vrindavan, 100% Madhurya is present, 100% Aishwarya is present, but 100% Madhurya Bhav is present, but 0% Aishwarya Bhav is present. That means that whenever Aishwarya Bhav and whenever Aishwarya and Madhurya are coexisting side by side in same proportion and in same amount, Madhurya will always make Aishwarya impotent and lose all its charm and influence. And that is why, because Madhurya coexisting with Aishwarya makes Aishwarya completely impotent, for that reason it is concluded that Madhurya is the essence of Godhood. Madhurya is Bhagavatta Sar. That is why Krishnadas Kaviraj writes in Chaitanya Charitamritam, Madhurya Bhagavatta Sar. That sweetness is the essence of Godhood, not the mood of opulence or in reverence. That is not the essence of Godhood. That is not what makes a particular form of, that is not the criteria. That is not the criterion to judge or to ascertain which form of Godhood is exalted and which is inferior in comparison. The criterion to ascertain, the criterion to make judgment which form of Godhood is exalted and which is inferior in comparison is the criterion of Madhurya. How much Madhurya is present in a particular form of Godhood, then that is better. But this concept was not there in Ramanuj, Madhva, Nimbark, and even in Vishnu Swami lines. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers are the first one to excavate this concept, to reveal this concept for the very first time. Otherwise, all the acharyas before Srila Rupa Goswami and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their thinking was, even now their thinking is the same. But before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's and their followers' advent, the thinking was that Aishwarya is the essence of Godhood. Aishwarya is what makes God, God. But our acharyas say no. Because if Aishwarya and Madhurya are confronting each other, Aishwarya becomes subdued, and that is why Madhurya is considered better than Aishwarya, and Madhurya is what makes a particular form of Godhood most exalted. How much amount of Madhurya that form of Godhood manifests, that is what makes that form of Godhood higher than any other form. And because Shri Krishna of Vrindavan, especially in the adolescent form, Kaishor Vigraha Vrindavan Vihari Krishna, Kaishor Murti Vrindavan Vihari Krishna, because the adolescent form of Shri Krishna in Vrindavan manifests the Madhurya in the most amount, ultimate amount. That is why it is considered the best form of Godhood. That is why Rupa Goswami says, Siddhanta Tattva Bhedepi Shri Krishna Swarupayoho Rasenot Krishyate Rupam Krishna Mesha Rasasthiti. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa says that all the Narayan and Krishna are the same person. सिद्धांत की दृष्टि से दोनों एक ही हैं. सिद्धांततः तु अभेदे अपि, सिद्धांत की दृष्टि से दोनों में पार्थक्य मौजूद नहीं है, दोनों अभिन्न है, दोनों में अभेद विद्यमान है. भेद नहीं, अभेद विद्यमान है, दोनों एक ही व्यक्ति हैं, स्वांश है नारायण कृष्ण के. इसीलिए सिद्धांत दस्तो भेदेपि श्री कृष्ण स्वरूपयो. श्री अर्थात रमा, पद्मावती के पति. कौन? भगवान वेंकटनाथ श्री रंगनाथ श्री नारायण. वो जो वेंकटनाथ रंगनाथ श्री नारायण रमा के पति हैं, कमला के ईश हैं, कमलेश, कमला के ईश हैं कमलेश, या रमेश हैं, रमा के ईश हैं. तो वैसे जो भगवान श्रीश हैं उनमें और श्री कृष्ण जो वृंदावन के वेणु निनाद परायण हैं, उनमें कोई पार्थक्य नहीं है, दोनों के स्वरूप में. श्रीश कृष्ण स्वरूपयो रसेनोत्कृष्यते रूपम. परंतु रस की जब बात चलती है, रस यानी कि माधुर्य की जब बात चलती है, तो श्री कृष्ण को कोई पछाड़ नहीं सकता स्पर्धा में और प्रतियोगिता में. रसेनोत्कृष्यते रूपम कृष्ण मेषा रस स्थिति. अतएव श्री कृष्ण का रस सर्वश्रेष्ठ, क्योंकि चार प्रकार की माधुर्यां वृंदावन में ही पूर्ण रूप से विद्यमान है, अन्य किसी भी धाम में पूर्ण रूप से विद्यमान नहीं है, केवल आंशिक रूप से विद्यमान है. और वो चतुर्धा माधुरी क्या है? वो चार भागों में विभक्त माधुरी क्या है श्री कृष्ण की? चतुर्धा माधुरी तस्य व्रज एव विराजते. Rupa Goswami says in Ujjwal Neelmani, the four types of sweetnesses that Shri Krishna possesses are only manifest in the full amount in Vrindavan Leela, nowhere else. Chaturdha madhuri hi tasya, tasya krishnasya chaturdha madhuri vraj eva virajate. Only in vraj the four types of sweetnesses, Venu madhuri, Rupa madhuri, Leela madhuri, and Prema madhuri. These four types of sweetnesses are present in the full-fledged amount only in Shri Vrindavan Dham, nowhere else. That is why. And what is this Madhurya? What is the technical definition of Madhurya? So, the technical definition of Madhurya has also been given by the Acharyas. First of all, what is the technical definition of Shri Krishna's Swarupa? What is Krishna's Swarupa? What is Krishna's actual identity? So it has been described by Srila Jiva Goswami in his Kram Sandarbha commentary on the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, that Bhagavan stavad asadharana swarupa aishwarya madhurya tattva vishesha. Now, the word Bhagavan is being explained by Shri Jiva Goswami in the very beginning of his Krama Sandarbha. What do we mean by the word Bhagavan? Okay, one explanation is the most apparent and direct explanation that comes to our mind instantly. As soon as we talk, as soon as we utter the word Bhagavan, what is the definition of word Bhagavan? The very first meaning that comes is from Vishnu Puran, Parashar and Maitreya's conversation. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasah shriyah jnana vairagyayoshyaiva sharanam bhagaitingana. In whom all these 6 opulences are existing in full amount simultaneously, at all the time, in all the places, irrespective of all different types of circumstances, that is Bhagavan. But the specific definition given by Srila Jiva Goswami in Krama Sandarbha is different. Although that definition is also accepted, but Jiva Goswami rather wants to give some other definition, which is more inclusive than that previous definition, which is more inclusive. So, Jiva Goswami says that Bhagavan stavat asadharana swarupa aishwarya madhurya tattva vishesha. Bhagavan is that principle particular. Bhagavan is that principle, that tattva vishesh, that principle particular, which contains most uncommon, asadharan, which contains or which possesses most uncommon swarupa or internal identity, which possesses most uncommon aishwarya or the opulence, and which possesses most uncommon madhurya or sweetness. These three items which are most uncommon and exceptional, and are possessed by which principle? That principle particular, peculiar, is known as Bhagavan. Tattva Vishesha. Bhagavan stavad asadharana swarupa aishwarya madhurya tattva vishesha. So now Jiva Goswami starts describing what is Swarupa, what is that most uncommon identity or Swarupa Krishna has, what is that most uncommon sweetness and most uncommon opulence that Krishna has. Now he starts gradually describing. Tatra Swarupam Paramanandam Aishwaryam Tatra Swarupam Paramanandam. First let us discuss about the Swarupa of Shri Krishna. What is his innate internal identity like? Paramanandam. Shri Krishna's internal identity is his inner self, his inner constitutional position, his antarik swarup. It is nothing but the condensed form of the most exalted form of paramount bliss. Most exalted form of transcendental paramount bliss. That bliss which is experienced in the impersonal Brahman aspect, Nirvishesh Brahma Anand, is also transcendental beyond 3 modes of nature and unlimited. Brahma Saukhyam tu Anantam, Bhagavat says. And that bliss which is contained within the Paramatma feature of the Lord is also quite nice to be appreciated, and transcendental in nature, and yes, also unlimited. Yes. And that bliss which the other forms of Bhagavan like Rama, Narsinga, Varaha, etc. they possess, that bliss is also very condensed, transcendental, and to be appreciated. But Shri Krishna has the most condensed form of bliss that no other form of Godhead possesses. And that is why his Swarupa is fully Paramanandamaya. Ganibhut Paramananda Swarup is the condensed form of Paramanand. Tatra Swarupam Paramanand. Now this is the definition of Paramanand. Now what's the definition of Aishwarya given by Srila Jiva Goswami? Aishwaryam asamaurdhvataya ananta swabhavika prabhuta. Aishwaryam asamaurdhva ananta swabhavik prabhuta. Aishwarya or opulence is that particular type of autocratic and autonomous sovereignty. That particular type of autocratic and autonomous sovereignty which is unlimited, which has an unlimited scope of jurisdiction. Sovereignty of Shri Krishna is not limited. The sovereignty of king or emperor within this world is limited. He can only rule over his country or his nation or his kingdom. The sovereignty of the demigod is also limited. He can only rule over that particular part of the universe which he has been given to by the Lord. The sovereignty of Brahma and Shiva is also limited, because Brahma and Shiva cannot rule over Shri Krishna and Narayan. But the sovereignty of Narayan is also limited, because Narayan cannot control Krishna, Krishna can control Narayan. Because of the Ang-Angi Bhav, because of the Ansha-Anshi relationship there. Krishna is the Swayam Bhagavan Sarvavatari and Sarva-Anshi. But the sovereignty of Shri Krishna cannot be overruled, trespassed, transgressed and crossed. That is why Shri Krishna's sovereignty is considered unlimited, because it is all inclusive. It includes all the other lords and masters of the universe. The sovereignty of Shri Krishna within its jurisdiction are included, within the jurisdiction of the sovereignty of Shri Krishna are included all the other lords and masters of the universe. That means all the lords and masters of the universe, including Narayan, Brahma, Shiv, Indra, etc., they are all falling within the sovereignty of Shri Krishna. They are all controlled by Shri Krishna. He is the ultimate cause. That is why Anant Prabhuta, unlimited sovereignty which is inclusive of all other types of relative sovereignties. Ultimate sovereignty which is inclusive of all other relative sovereignties. आत्यंतिक प्रभुता जो अन्य समस्त आपेक्षिकी प्रभुताओं को अपने अंदर समाहित कर लेती है. Very technical. Yes, आत्यंतिकी प्रभुता जो अन्य समस्त प्रभुताओं को अपने अंतर्वर्ती, अपने अंदर समाहित कर लेती है. All inclusive sovereignty. So अनंत प्रभुता, and that sovereignty which is not only ultimate and unlimited, which is swabhavik, which is natural. That means that sovereignty which is not derived by worshipping some other deity or by worshipping some other power. Krishna's sovereignty is within Krishna, and that sovereignty has no other cause. Krishna has not performed tapasya of any other demigod or of any other form of godhood to get that sovereignty. But the other forms of godhood, even what to speak of demigods like Brahma, Shiva and Indra, other forms of godhood, even though they do not perform tapasya of Shri Krishna, for Shri Krishna, but the other forms of godhood, they still derive their powers from Krishna. Yes, dipar chire vahi dashantaram abhyupetya dipayate vivrita hetu samana dharma. That shloka of Brahma Samhita, that the original candle lights the other candles. That's why the other candles, whatever power they get, is from the original candle. So other forms of godhood like Ram, Narsingh, Narayan, whatever power they have is from Shri Krishna. That is why Krishna's Prabhuta is the only Prabhuta. Krishna's sovereignty is the only sovereignty which is swabhavik, which is most natural, which is not derived from any other place. But the sovereignty of all the other forms of Krishna, like Ram, Narayan, Vishnu, etc., and the sovereignty of demigods, and the sovereignty that the living entities have, they are all relative sovereignties. They are deriving it from some other source. So, and Shri Krishna's sovereignty is asamauddha. It cannot be equaled by anyone, it cannot be surpassed. Mattaha parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya. Shlok of 7th chapter, 7th shlok of Bhagavad Gita. That is what we mean by Aishwarya here. Aishwarya, asamauddha, ananta, swabhavik, prabhuta. Yes. And then what is madhurya or sweetness? Jiva Goswami says, madhuryam asamauddhataya sarva manoharam swabhavika rupa guna leeladi saushthavam. Madhuryam asamauddhataya sarva manoharam swabhavika rupa guna leeladi saushthavam. Madhurya or sweetness is nothing except, nothing but that enchanting beauty. Saushthavam. Saushthavam means that enchanting beauty. Madhurya or sweetness is nothing but that enchanting beauty of the pastimes, Leela, of the attributes, Guna, of the forms, Rupa of Shri Krishna. the enchanting beauty of the forms, qualities and pastimes of Sri Krishna, which is not only spontaneous and innate, but which is Sarva Manoharam. That beauty of the forms, pastimes and qualities of Sri Krishna, which is not only Swabhavik or natural, but which is Sarva Manoharam, which can attract all people in existence, including Sri Krishna. That is why Vidag Madhav Natak, Lalit Madhav Natak, quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita also. Dwarkadheeshdas Sri Krishna of Dwarka, he was once seated on his throne in his palace, in his private room, and at that time his vision fell upon a pillar made up of pillar embedded with or made up of crystal clear spatika jewels. And in the crystal clear spatika jewels of the pillar was reflected Sri Krishna's own form. And when Sri Krishna envisioned his own form in the embedded spatika pillar, at that time he forgot that it is his own reflection, because he became so much attracted by the all-attractive, enchanting, unsurpassable and unexcelled beauty of his own form being reflected, that he forgot that it is his own form, and he started running after that form, and he wanted to embrace and kiss that form, and he wanted to enjoy that form. That form of Sri Krishna, which even attracts Sri Krishna, which even attracts Karanadakshayi Mahavishnu, and that was the reason why Karanadakshayi Mahavishnu abducted, he kidnapped the 9 sons of a Dwarka Brahmin, so that Krishna and Arjun can come to the causal ocean, Karan Samudra, and then give him darshan. And he reveals this in the 10th canto. That this is why I have, this is the reason why I have abducted the 9 sons of a Brahmin, O Krishna. This is why I have done it. Karanadakshayi himself says. So Karanadakshayi Narayan himself becomes attracted. The wife of Narayan, Lakshmi Devi, rejects the principle of chastity. Rejects the principle of chastity, Pativratya Dharma, and wants to enjoy with Sri Krishna in a paramour mood, but not considering herself a cowherd girl, wanting to maintain, keeping to maintain. She wants to maintain, she wants to keep her status of Raja Rajeshwari, her status of the goddess of fortune, and at the same time she wants to love Krishna in the mood of paramour. She doesn't want to consider herself, and she doesn't want to take on the form of a cowherd girl, Gop Kanya. That's why she cannot enter. Because if you don't follow the Ragatmika Parikar through Raganuga Bhakti, you can never enter into Braj Leela. So even goddess of fortune Lakshmi Devi, on the other side of Vrindavan, in the Belvan, she is even now performing tapasya. Since Satyayuga she is performing tapasya, Krishna came also in between and he also went away, but nothing happened, and she is still performing tapasya for entering into the Rasa Leela pastimes of the Lord and rejecting the so-called Pativratya Dharma for Narayan. Nayam Shriyonga Unitantaratehe Prasadaha Svaryoshitam Narina Gandarucham Kutonyaha. That shloka of the 10th canto. Then the Nagapatnis, the wives of Sarvakali, have spoken to Krishna. That fortune, that even the goddess of fortune could not receive, even though she is aspiring after that. Nayam Shriyonga Unitantaratehe Prasadaha. Alas, U means alas. So we can see that Sarva Manoharam means it not only attracts, what to speak of Kamdev, Krishna is Koti Manmat Manmat. He churns the mind of thousands and millions and trillions of cupids. That cupid who turns the mind of all the other living entities, Krishna churns the minds of those billions and trillions of unlimited cupids with his beauty. So that Sri Krishna, who not only attracts cupids and who not only attracts Shiva Brahma, when Krishna became manifest as Mohini, Lord Shiva forgot that he was in the company of his wife Parvati, and actually seminal discharge happened. Bhagavatam clearly written in the 8th canto, seminal discharge happened, and the gold mines are nothing but the transformation of Lord Shiva's semen. So seminal discharge happened, and then he ran after the Mohini form. So that Shri Krishna, who is who is attracting Shiv, Brahma, Kamadev, who is attracting Lakshmi Devi, who is attracting Narayan, Karunavakshay Mahavishnu. Oh, who is attracting his own self. Sarva Manoharam. That means all-inclusive attractiveness, ultimate attractiveness he has. That is why that is known as Madhurya. Shri Krishna's natural beauty of his qualities, forms and pastimes is completely unequaled, asamardha, and it is all attractive. That is known as Madhurya. And then again, new definition of Madhurya is given by, little more refined and revised definition is given by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Ujjwal Nilmani. He says, Madhuryam nama cheshtanam sarvavastha sucharuta. Or we can say that Rupa Goswami presents the same concept in another way. He says that Madhurya or sweetness is the charuta, is the beauty. Charu means beauty or no. Charu actually means beauty or captivating nature. Captivating nature. Attractiveness, captivating nature. So Madhurya is the beauty or all attracting, captivating nature of all the actions performed through body, mind, senses in the spiritual world, especially in Vrindavan. The
Beauty, the captivating beauty.
of all the actions performed during the Vraj Leela, all the actions performed through body, mind, speech, either on the part of the Vrajvasi associates or on the part of Shri Krishna himself. All the activities and all the actions performed, all the cheshtas, all the actions performed through body, mind, speech and soul in the Vraj Leela pastimes, either by Shri Krishna or by his associates, and those actions which are of complete captivating nature. Each action is captivating and appears in a newer and newer form. Each cheshta, each action of either Shri Krishna or of his associates becomes manifest in newer and newer form, and that is known as Madhurya. Madhuryam asamaur Madhuryam nama cheshtanam sarvavastha sucharuta, and that captivating beauty of all the actions performed by Shri Krishna and his Vraj Leela associates, which appears attractive and captivating, and which appear charming and enchanting in all conditions and circumstances. Sarvavasthasu, समस्त अवस्थाओं में श्री भगवान श्याम सुंदर और उनके व्रज लीला के परिकरों की समस्त कायिकी, वाचिकी और मानसिकी चेष्टाओं का कमनीय, सुंदर और आकर्षक रूप में अनुभूत होना या प्रतीयमान होना, यही माधुर्य है. So this is the technical definition given by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Ujjwal Nilmani. And now that highest contribution that Caitanya Mahaprabhu actually came to give, what was that? He didn't came to give Vaidhi Bhakti, because by Vaidhi Bhakti Krishna says, I am not satisfied because it lacks Madhurya. That's why. So Aishwarya Shithil Prem Nahi Mor Preet. Krishna reflects in his mind in Chaitanya Charitamrita and he thinks, oh, this love which is slackened by Aishwarya cannot charm me, cannot attract me. Aishwarya Shithil Prem Nahi Mor Preet. And so he wants to incarnate as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to only distribute the Raga Marga Prem, the Raga Marga Bhakti. But among the Raga Marga Bhakti in Vrindavan, the Raga Marga Bhakti of Vrindavan, of Shantarati, of Dasyarati, of Sakhyarati and of Vatsalyarati is known as Sambandhanuga. Raganuga is of two types. So although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give Raganuga Bhakti in general of all the types, Chari Bhava Bhakti Diya Uddarimu Sansar, by giving the four types of Raganuga Bhakti, especially Sakhya, Dasya, Shringar and Vatsalya. But even among the four types of Raganuga Bhakti that Krishna wants to distribute, he especially wants to distribute Kamanuga. Kamanuga is a special division of Raganuga according to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Kamanuga means the conjugal mood and the conjugal love of gopis that they have for Shri Krishna is known as Kamanuga. And the love of friends, mother, father, servants and other associates of Shantarasa that they have for Krishna in Vrindavan is known as Raganuga, but the love especially that the gopis have for Krishna is known as Kamanuga. And even within Kamanuga, that the love that the cowherd themselves of Vrindavan have for Krishna, even within that love, even within that Kamanuga division, there are two subdivisions, subcategories. Sambhogechamai and Tattad Bhavechatmika. Sambhogechamai means the desire for satisfying Krishna through union. So sometimes Radhika and Chandravali are seen in union with Shri Krishna just for the sake of satisfying Krishna. But the Manjaris, the maid servants of Shri Radhika, even if Krishna requests them, even if Krishna forces them, and even if Srimati Radhika tells the Manjari to unite with Shri Krishna physically, the Manjari will never do that. That is known as Tattad Bhavechatmika Bhav. Sambhogecha means the desire to directly unite with Krishna. That bhav is in Radhika and in Chandravali, the two Nayikas. But within the Manjaris, that bhav is not there. The Manjaris are satisfied just in arranging or just in facilitating the direct union of Shri Krishna with Srimati Radhika or of Shri Krishna with Shri Chandravali. So, Tattad Bhavechatmika is known as Manjari Bhav, or the mood of the maid servants of Radhika. That is also known as Paryadasi Bhav, that I am servant and my mistress is Radhika and I am being fostered, I am being maintained and sustained by Radhika because I am a slave. And Radhika is my master. I am being completely taken care of by Srimati Radhika. मैं उनके द्वारा पाल्यदासी हूँ, उनके द्वारा मेरा पालन किया जाता है. श्रीमती राधिका जी के द्वारा, स्वामिनी जी के द्वारा मेरा पालन किया जाता है. मैं उनकी पाल्यदासी हूँ. That is why Manjari Bhav is also known as पाल्यदासी भाव. The same is also known as Bhavullasarati, special technical name for the love that the Manjaris have for Krishna. That is known as Bhavullasarati. So this Bhavullasarati has another fourth name. Okay? Tattad Bhavechatmika, then Palyadasi, then Manjari Bhav, then Bhavullasarati, four names already, and the fifth name. The fifth name is Unnat Ujjwal Ras. Unnat Ujjwal Ras is the same as Manjari Bhav. So Caitanya Mahaprabhu has come here to distribute that particular form of highest form, the climax, the most highest gift or benediction that can be given to the living entity. Because Madanakhya Mahabhava of Radhika cannot be given to the living entity. Because it is said that if living entity is given Madanakhya Mahabhava, then what will happen, you know? Because the living entity, what is living entity? Jivatma Swarup? 1/10,000th part of a tip of a hair. Such minute. Sukshmata parakashta prapto jivaha. Jiva Goswami says in Paramatma Sandar that living entity is the most subtle item among all the subtle items found within this world. Most subtle. There cannot be anything more subtle. So that most subtle living entity, most smallest living entity, whose swarup, whose nature and whose whole existence is the smallest conscious existence available. If that living entity is given the high voltage of Madanakhya Mahabhava, then what will happen? Living entity's existence will literally blast and destroyed. And that is why even Madanakhya Mahabhava, even the effects of Madanakhya Mahabhava, Shri Krishna cannot tolerate in the form of Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and Srimati Radhika cannot also tolerate. If that Mahabhava is given to the living entity, although that Madanakhya Mahabhava is the highest form of Krishna Prem available in the market, but that cannot be given to the living entity. If it is given, living entity's existence will be destroyed immediately. It will blast because it will not be able to contain or tolerate the effects. How? Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, he undertook this Madanakhya Mahabhava. He became imbued with this Madanakhya Mahabhava. And then what happened? Even he could not tolerate the effects. His body became elongated and became 40 feet long. And sometimes his body became so much condensed that his body just turned into the form of a tortoise. All his limbs went inside, and only only oval and round cubical lump of flesh remained visible. That is why even Krishna finds it very difficult to tolerate the effects of Madanakhya Mahabhava. And Srimati Radhika also finds it very difficult. That is why if it is given to the minute living entity, then what will happen to the whole existence? And that is why the highest, although the highest although the highest form of Krishna Prem is Madanakhya Mahabhava, it is not considered suitable for the living entity, and that is why the highest thing to be given to the living entity is only Manjari Bhav. Madanakhya Mahabhava cannot be given. The highest thing that can be bestowed, the highest gift, boon, benediction that can be bestowed is Unnat Ujjwal Ras or Manjari Bhav, and that is why Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, has come here to give that which has never been given before, at least in last 1000 Kali Yugas. Anarpita Charim Chirat, Karanayavatirana Kalau, Samarpayitum Unnato Jwalasam, Swabhakti Shriyam, Hari Purna Sundara, Judikadamba Sandipitaha, Salah Hridaya Kandare, Spuratuha Shachinandanaha, and that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu we always stay within the course of your hearts, who is like a moon, who is Krishna Chandra himself, who is moon, who has emanated from the ocean of the womb of Mother Shachi, and that is also the meaning of Chaitanya Chandramritam written by Prabodhananda Saraswati. We could not start in Chaitanya Chandramritam, but today we explained many of the other aspects of the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we have already passed 5 minutes. But I think it's not too late.
Excellent class given He has done so nicely explaining the Unnato Jwala Rasa, and he has given so nicely the Madanaka Bhav and the Unnato Jwala, where we cannot handle that, the living entity cannot handle that. Thank you so much, for giving us such a